I want to make sure we go a bit deeper into treatment because for me, it seems like there's two different aspects to this where we want to clean up the environment and be preventative from this stuff coming in and toxifying us. But if we're somebody who is, say, middle age, we've accumulated a lot of this stuff. You mentioned going anti inflammatory with diet and lifestyle and the body taking care of it. But somebody like your firefighter who's really on the far end of this and they're really toxic, are there certain protocols, detoxes, saunas, things you can recommend for people to purge this out of the body to at least get back to a baseline?
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Very tough, very tough. So, does the body have its innate mechanisms to detoxify itself? It does, because nature built into us detoxification programs. And which is the biggest detoxification organ you got? It's your liver. You got to take care of your liver. But look, we're really destroying it by eating garbage and we're eating all the sugar and we're getting a fatty liver. A fatty liver cannot detoxify you. So you got to get rid of the fatty liver. So you got to work on your diet. You got to get rid of all the carbs. You got to get rid of sugar. You got to get rid of all additives and everything. You got to fix the leaky gut. And you fix the leaky, and I'll talk about how I do all this. Then your liver will say, okay, now I can get on and do the job that I was supposed to be doing. And to help the liver even more, I will give some supplements. For example, it's so strange that patients who are having fatty liver, and I was giving them n-acetyl, and I was giving them alpha-lipoic acid and astaxanthin. These are 3 supplements that I was giving all my patients who had a fatty liver. And this is before I did a deep dive into the metabolic endotoxemia from leaky gut. And I found that they got better in many ways. And it's because their liver got better, and therefore they were also able to detoxify themselves. Had I done tests on them before, I'm sure they would have lots of toxins. But slowly, they definitely got better because their liver got better. Because N-acetyl is a precursor to the body's natural antioxidant, which is glutathione. So I give them simple supplements to take: alpha-lipoic acid, N-acetyl, astaxanthin, milk thistle, for example. These have been shown to actually improve liver function and its liver's ability to detoxify these chemicals. So when they come in, instead of overwhelming the liver and causing localized fibrosis and fattiness of the liver, it is able to now have the enzyme systems that will detoxify these things and get rid of them in your bile and then out in your stools. Some patients require what is known as a binder. A binder is something like activated charcoal, and what it does, it binds these toxins and also make sure that those coming out from the bile are not going to recirculate back into your own circulation. So depending on the load and which organism, I might give them a binder, and that will get rid of some of these toxins from their body as far as the liver is concerned. The next big organ is the kidney. So you make sure they're extremely well hydrated. See, these are simple things, but they work. Make sure that the kidney function is best. So get rid of nephrotoxins, no drugs that affect the kidney. Drink plenty water, and they got to drink plenty water, and that will help the kidneys also to detoxify itself. Because remember, when we do the testing on toxins, we're doing it on the urine because that's where they all end up and they come out. So you make sure your kidney functions good. The next one is skin. And you already mentioned that. You mentioned sauna. So why I'm a big fan of sauna? I love sauna. I'm going to tell you a few things about sauna. A big study that came out of Finland, which demonstrated that those people with severe coronary disease who did sauna, they had regular sauna. They didn't have infrared. They did regular sauna. Those who did sauna 3 times a week had a 40 to 50% reduction in sudden cardiac death rates. Survival. I mean, if I had a drug that could do that, it would be a bestseller. Those who did it 5 days a week had a 60% reduction in sudden cardiac death rates. And these articles have come out. Of course, nobody talks about it. I don't see it on the news because it's not glorious. So they don't run with it. But this means that there's something that sauna is doing. So some people say, okay, it heats you up and therefore your heart rate goes up by 30%. So it's like doing a low-level exercise. Maybe. But another reason is it's detoxifying you, because we know that toxins come out in your skin. We know that. That's a fact. You sweat a lot, it comes out of your skin. So you must sweat. So these days I use infrared sauna on these patients because it's a little easier for them. They can buy their own little machine, they put it in their house and just sweat away. Sweat away. And do it at least minimum 3 times a week, preferably 5 times a week. And they must sweat. Even a hot tub, when you sit in a hot tub, does detoxify you. Get that temperature high, you get vasodilation. But there are other benefits from all this. And we haven't talked about this yet. Evoking the body's own repair mechanism is evoking the vagus nerve. You have to evoke the vagus nerve because your biggest help is not only you. You got to hack nature's own repair process and enhance it. So I think that the vagus nerve also gets stimulated when you do sauna. So I love sauna for that reason. And one more thing I need to tell you is that sauna has been shown to liberate stem cells from your bone marrow that actually repair the endothelial cells. So those progenitor cells, the levels go up like crazy. So I think sauna is very good for that reason. And of course, that's another big reason why I do fasting, because we didn't even talk much about fasting today, but fasting has to become your fundamental way of life. It's not fasting like, no. It's that's just the way you live, and we can talk about that later if you like. But fasting is amazing. But infrared sauna for detoxification, fasting. Listen, there are so many different mechanisms by which one can not only live longer but live healthier, and you can come across all these different inflammatory pathways, and it's the endocrine, it's the liver, it's the leaky gut, it's the toxins, it's the metals, it's lifestyle. But there's one thing that touches all the mechanisms and improves them all, and that's fasting. Fasting improves you metabolically. If it detoxifies you, improves your microbiome, because your microbiome is completely reset by fasting, because all those bad guys die within the first 8 hours of fasting, and just resets your whole gut.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch the full episode. I'll see you over there.
A lot of coronary artery disease is very silent. That plaque is silently sitting there in millions of people without them even knowing. And there are ways to find this out now. We have the technology. It's just not